All right, well, thanks for joining today. So today's training is going to be from the perspective of a DIRTT user. What I'm showing, oops, let me share my screen. So what I'm showing here is our agenda for the day. What we'll go through is adding yourself to a project if you are not already on the project team, authorizing a deficiency, a chargeback, where and how to download files from your order or other project files, and then a little bit about tasks and a little bit about schedules. So please feel free to interrupt me as we go through. I'm sure if you have questions on this, other people will too. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and jump into it. So what we have here is the training environment, and this is the landing page from a DIRTT user. So when you just log into the application, you'll come here. And the first thing that I want to point out is that we are on this projects page, and the button that we're going to focus on first is this project missing button. This is going to be the way to add yourself to a project if you do not see the project that you're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search by partner. I'm going to go to the Kinetic Training Partner, and we can see here that we've got a list of projects that are aligned to this partner. Occasionally, you'll get this where it's not showing a scroll bar. If you ever do, just widen the box a little bit, and it will allow you to scroll through everything that you need to. So the one project that we are going to focus on today is going to be this Red's Pete's Office project. So you can see the name of the project followed by the partner here. The other way to search for a project before I select get access is you can also search for the project here. So I'll just search Red, and we can see that we've got this Red's Pete's Office project here. So I'll go ahead and click get access. The only real note here, once you click that, it will send out a notification to the project manager just to let them know that you went ahead and added yourself to that project. The next thing we're going to take a look at here is deficiencies. So there's two ways to look at your deficiency. You can either hop into a project. So I could double click into this project and navigate over to the deficiencies tab if we know what project we're looking for. The other way to do it is on the left here using this deficiencies tab. This is going to show you all the deficiencies from all of the projects that you are assigned to. And we'll have tabs here for identified, authorized, installed all, and then my deficiencies are just going to be the ones that you are assigned to. And you can also search for them. We've got 48 here. I wouldn't be surprised if many DIRTT users have more than that on their list. So you can search by project or by partner, whichever is easier for you. So I'm going to go to this Red's front office building. You can multi-select here. You can select as many projects as you want. So if you're not sure which project it is, you can do multiple. And so I'll go ahead and click search, and then this will narrow it down to the ones that I had selected. The one that we're going to take a look at today is this one that is marked urgent here. So you can quickly see which ones are urgent versus non-urgent with this icon or in the severity column. So to open it up, I'm just going to double click on it. When I double click on it, we'll get this pop-up page, and you can see that the background page also changed. It pulls us into the project and that deficiencies billables tab that I had originally navigated to. And in here, we can see all the information that the partner has input before they submitted their deficiency. So you have all of your deficiency information here, from the title to the insight number to the FedEx account number, the severity, as well as where the delivery information is on here on the right-hand side. You can also add a project path here. So my understanding is that you want to be able to add a link to the internal drive. So you can put it right here in the path, and then you can also mark it as a description if you have multiple. Then next we've got the assignment section, so you can see who it's assigned to on both the partner as well as DIRTT side, anyone who it is assigned to. There may even be vendors on there if that's required. And then down here is probably the most important part, and this has the specific deficiency details. So if we double click, we'll get another pop-up here that will show us what product it is, what zone it's aligned to, the elevation, frame number, all of that good stuff. And then we can also see the quantity, the price, if there's a price attached to it, and then related images and related documents. So if the partner is taking any pictures of the actual item that is going to need to be replaced, like whether that's scratched tiles or something else, you can pull that up here. We've also got this handy zip and download all button. So if there are a bunch of attachments, you can use that to quickly retrieve all of the items from it. So once you are all good with your deficiency, everything in here looks good. What you can do is you can click this authorized deficiency button. And what this is going to do is it's going to put the ball back in the partner's court. It's going to send them an email, or it's going to send really everyone on this list an email. The new PID number cannot be empty. So we got to enter the PID number first, of course. All of our required fields are up here marked in red. So we'll enter that PID number first and then click authorize deficiency. And now it's authorized. We can see that that deficiency dropped off this list because it's moved from identified to authorized. And now they know that they'll have it, and then the partner will eventually mark it as installed. And that'll matriculate it through the 3 different stages there. The next item we'll take a look at is chargebacks. Chargebacks, I think, are a little bit less common, but they can be also submitted through Kinetic. Again, there's 2 ways to do it, and the one we're going to focus on for right now is going to be taking a look at it through this overview tab. So all of these tabs on here on the left are considered your overview tabs. So we've got our deficiency overview and our chargeback overview. And again, we've got a couple of sub-tabs within here. So we've got submitted, approved, and rejected. So the one that we want to look for is again going to be on this Red's front office building. So I'm going to go ahead and double click to open it. We can see that again, the background page changed here. So you can see that we are now on the chargebacks tab, which is a couple over from the one that we were previously on, the deficiencies and billables. So again, we have all of our overhead, just general information, the project that it's aligned to, who is the partner, who it's assigned to, what its status is, who it was created by, and then also who is going to be on that default email list. And then here again are going to be your key details. My understanding about how this normally works between a partner and DIRTT is that ordinarily the details have already been discussed. So I think what you really want to do here is take a look, make sure that everything matches your expectation. You can check the related documents. If you've had an email exchange, a lot of times the partner will upload it here just to put it back in context for you. So you can always double click on it and download it as needed from here. And then once you are all set with all of the details here, you can click this Approve by DIRTT or Reject by DIRTT button. I think ordinarily once it gets to this process, hopefully most of these are just going to be approved. So it'll ask you, are you sure? Yep. And we want to proceed. And then it will let you create a signature here. I say just usually do this all in one fell swoop. If you just made a quick little line, you can hit reset signature to do it again. And then once you're good, you can click save. And now this status you can see has been updated to approved, and you are good to go. That sent out the email notification to the people on that list, and they'll know that they are all set from a chargeback perspective. So we took a quick look at approving both a deficiency and a chargeback. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a couple of different places to download files related to an order or just general project files. So we'll take a look at orders first. So within the project here, we've got several tabs up here at the top, and then this project management tab is a little bit special. This is the one with all of the sub-tabs to it. So the one that we're going to go to now, as I mentioned, is for orders. So you go ahead and click on the orders tab. And if the project just has a single order, you're already on the right page. If it has additional orders, you would come over here and look at this grid for any additional orders. Obviously, we can see that this one does not have any additional orders, so we'll just go back to our original order. And then over here to this tab is for the required files. Now, there are 3 sections in here. We've got the ICE files, project PDFs, and the freight quote. If you really just need a single file, you can just start by double-clicking and then click download here. If you want just one section of files, so maybe I want all 3 of these files, you can click this download files button. This will generate a pop-up, and we'll say it's Reds Icebox. Or if I want to download all files from all 3 of these sections, so all 9 files across all of these, I'm going to click the zip and download all order entry files, and that will bunch everything together in a zip file and download it for us. So it tells us they're downloading the background, and we can continue to do everything else. We know that some of these files are pretty big at times. So I'll just go ahead and click one of these just to show you what it looks like. In this case, it's just a bunch of JPEGs that I put up there for the sake of this example. So that's our files for orders, just where to get them and how to get them. The next thing is where to download other files. Let's say that you're working with a partner and they've got an install drawing that they want you to take a look at for whatever reason, or assembly status report, something like that. That's not directly attached to the order. So you come over here to this project management tab, then the project files, and then through each of these sections, you can do the same process. So if I click download here, what that's going to do is it's going to download the 3 files here. Say Reds install drawings. And that would download all 3. And of course, you can double click into any one of those individual files just to download them on a one-off basis if you prefer. The next thing that we're going to take a look at here is tasks, and I'm going to take a look at tasks just within the context of this project. And we could also take a look at tasks from this overview page if you are trying to look at the tasks for multiple of your projects at once. So the one task that I want to focus on here is this install deficiency task. Before I really dive into the specifics of this one, I do want to point out that your landing filter is going to be for my open tasks. You can also change this to all tasks, and that'll view everything that is out there. So if you're not assigned to something, but you know that there is a relevant task that you want to comment on or check the status of, you can click over to that. So I'll just show that so we get a couple more here, but filtering back for my open tasks, that is going to be where everything starts here. So a couple of quick notes about what we're looking at here. This red line indicates that this task is overdue. Since this one is not highlighted in red, we know that it is upcoming. So you can see the start date is 10/5 and the due date is 10/6. And then I'll just run through these buttons here real quick. So this first one is to open or close the task. So if we click it, this would close out the task. Since this is for installing a deficiency, I think we're just going to leave a comment here, so I won't click that yet. This follow/unfollow icon, you can follow a task without being assigned to it, and this will kind of just keep you in the loop, so to speak, on everything related to it. So if I'm following it and someone makes a comment, I'll get an email notification, or if it's closed out, I will also get an email notification. The next thing here is just who it's assigned to. So when you hover over it, you can see who it's assigned to. So in this case, it's to me as the DIRTT user, so John Dirtbag, and then the partner user, which is John Lamb. And if I click on it, it pulls up everyone on the project team, and it can be assigned out as needed. This next button is to create a subtask. So I think people use tasks as a to-do list a lot of the time. So you can create subtasks if you want to break things down into the nitty-gritty. Next one here is for attachments. So you can add attachments either through this button or just drop in files over here. The next one is to create a schedule item. So if you need to add this like to the official project schedule versus just being a one-off task, you can do that easily through this. This is who created the task. This flag just shows you if it's past due or not. It will go red if it is overdue. And then you can also send an assignment notification. So this will send out an email with a deep link back to the application wants for the recipient to click so that they can come back in here, mark it complete, add comments, or just view it. So when I click this, I just want to show you one more thing about this. You'll see that it turns blue, and then if I hover over it, it'll say who sent it and when. So you never have to kind of double guess yourself whether or not you sent out that notification. And then finally, of course, if you need to delete the task, you can do that over on the right. So you'll have your project here, as well as the title, and then the description if there is one. So in this case, we'll just add a comment here, say just authorized, your def should be there on Thursday. Let me know if you have any questions. And I just hit the enter key to post that, and that way I know that everyone else who is following this task, who wants to be kept in the loop, will receive an email about that comment. A couple other quick notes on tasks are that you can export tasks. This will export it into an Excel. And then also over here on the calendar tab, I think this is particularly handy. So if you ever need to reschedule a task, you can of course click on it and then change the dates manually here. Or from this calendar tab, you can say, this really needs to be Monday. So I just drag it over here from Friday to Monday. And if you got a bunch of things going on, it's really easy to just view it all in this calendar view. So last thing here that we're going to review today as far as our scheduled items, and then the remaining time will be open to any questions for anything that I haven't covered or anything that you want to dive deeper on, is going to be schedules. So clicking on this project management tab, I had mentioned this one is the one with several different subtabs under it. The one that we'll always land on is going to be the schedule tab here. So this is the overall project schedule. So we can see that the finish date is 11/16, and then it'll have all the other items, going back for it. So there's a couple of different things that you can do here as a DIRTT user. If you just want to double check on a date, this was the place to come. This, I think, really has the benefit of being a shared tool. So if your partner is updating their schedule, you can always come back in here, and this is going to be the live schedule. And it's going to be something that the two of you can share versus maybe something that is offline. The other thing is, if you scroll down, this schedule is also in a Gantt chart form. So you can view it here, over here on the right. The default is it's just going to show you it day by day. But you can also change the view over into months if you're really trying to see a higher level picture. So you can see that it starts in September, finishes here in the second week of November. You can print out this schedule in a couple of different formats. This Gantt chart, that is, in a couple of different formats with a PDF or PNG. And one important thing about this is I'm going to go ahead and click the PNG and we can take a look at it. So you can say, okay, great. We want to download that, save it. We'll go ahead and open this PNG. So you can see that we've got just our Gantt chart here. And if we want to create a Word document that has the full list of all the schedule items as well as the Gantt chart, the most important thing to remember before clicking this Word document is to click this PNG thing. The reason that is required is because the application needs to know, do you want it in the months view, do you want it in the days view? So whichever one that I had selected and then click PNG on, that will be what shows up on the Word document. So I'll go ahead and click that. And what we should see here is the Gantt chart by months. So we've got it here, scroll down. Gantt chart's pretty big on this. So move that in. The Gantt chart here is pretty big on it. So we'll just scale it down a little bit, and we've got our Gantt chart there, and then all of our individual schedule items. So going back to the schedule, we know that from the DIRTT side, you're probably not necessarily managing the schedule. Most of that's going to happen on the partner side. But if you are looking at something that you were directly involved in, like this place order, it's like, oh, well, that happened early. I was just talking with so-and-so, and we know that that's already closed out. And if you want to, or if you guys are on the same page with it, you can use this checkbox over here to go ahead and close out the schedule item. So I clicked on that, and over here the status was open, and it just flipped over to close. If you ever do it by accident, not a big deal. You just click this edit button, flip the status back from closed to open, and you're good to go. And this is also how you view really more detail about any individual schedule item. So final thing here is we'll take a quick look at the schedule overview. So when we click this, you'll see that we've got this section over here for all the different projects. So let's say we just want to look at all the REDS projects. Click on that, we can see the different schedule items here. So let's click on this one, see what it is. This is just the on-site date. So we know that our on-site date is coming up in 2 weeks' time. And you can add or subtract as many projects as you want here. So you can see really the full scope of everything that's going on, or just a selected number of projects. Additionally, the filter here is going to be default as all milestones. You can also just switch it to on-site dates, install dates, or all schedule items. All schedule items, of course, is going to have a lot of things on it. You'll see that this one in gray here is going to be our closed schedule item. All the green ones are still open. There are a couple of other tabs here within the schedule overview. So if you want to look at my milestones, this is going to show you just a list of your schedule items that are marked as milestones. And then if you really need a full list of all schedule items, you can click on the schedule list just as a note. It is going to start off with the status of open, and you can flip that to empty if you want to see both open and closed items. One thing I did not include on the agenda, but since we did well on time here, is the form. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on this form button, which I think is one of the most interesting pieces of the application, because this is kind of special from a partner side in that all the partners can view this different form, and also from the DIRTT side. So this can be a place where anyone can post and get an answer from either a DIRTT counterpart or another partner if they do have a question. So if you ever do have a need, feel free to utilize this. But thanks for joining today, and that really brings us to the end of the prepared material, and I will hang on here. If you have any questions or want to go over anything else.